There are so many incidents, stories. Great devotee called Kanagadasa in Karnataka, he lived in Udupi. Because he was not allowed to go and have darshan of Krishna through the front door, Krishna turned and gave blessings. He completely turned. Be very clear. It is not story, again history. Because still the statue is in the form of, in the backside. Still, the statue of Krishna is looking backside of the temple. It's not facing towards the front side. And he is facing backside of the temple. It is called Kanagadwara. Through the small window through which he gave darshan to Kanagadasa, you can have, still you can see God only through that small window. Thousands of incidents where the devotion led people to experience the ultimate. And not only that, there are some more stories. Just for the sake of devotion, there are stories. Shiva came down and he was arranging dates for the disciples. I think first dating service is done by Shiva only. There are so many stories. He was trying to bridge. He was trying to help one of his devotee. He was doing the ambassador's work to represent one of his devotee. There is a beautiful story. His name is Sundara. Sundara means a handsome guy. He was a great devotee of Shiva. We should understand one thing. Whether the stories are true or not, logically we can argue. But the stories create such a deep emotion and devotion in your being, that devotion is worthy. That is such a great gift. Even if the stories are not fact, it is okay. The devotion which is created by the stories will lead you to the truth. That's the reason I always tell people, do not bother about the factuality of these great stories, because logically you can never say which is right or which is wrong. You can never verify a fact. One more thing, we always think if it is written by some so-called scientists or some logical way, it's a truth. And if it is written by some saint, it is always biased or vested interests. We should understand an important thing. Saints and sages and devotees, spiritual beings, doesn't have any vested interests. Their life was never dependent on influencing or impressing somebody. But the so-called scientists, their life was constantly dependent on influencing, impressing the people who are funding them. Be very clear, in India, the saints and sages and rishis and spiritual masters were never under the influence of business people or politicians. Vaishya and Kshatriya both are kept away from the Brahmanas. It is the Brahmanas who are in the top. The sages and saints and rishis and devotees, they were given a lot more respect. They were in the top seat. They were ruling. They were guiding the politicians and businessmen. So they have no vested interests. Even if they don't tell stories, even if they don't create these stories, they are respected. They are given all best things of the society without any necessity to prove themselves. So they have no vested interests. But with the scientists, if you look deeply into the system, with the scientists, things are more complicated because always they have to they have to work to fulfill the vested interests of the people who are funding them, means business people. The ultimate quantum jump, if it has to be useful to the common mass in a complete way, it should not be disturbed, it should not be interfered by the vested interests of priests, by the vested interests of the people who rule the country or people who finance the things. Neither the business people nor the politicians should be allowed to enter into the research. Only then it can go in the line of truth and express the truth alone to the common mass. That's why I always tell people, with science, there are a lot more superstitions, lot more things which is illogical, lot more superstitious, illogical, dangerous things are created by science than spirituality. Even if it is little illogical, even if it is not fact according to your logic, the spirituality has always led people towards the ultimate truth of global peace and global bliss, transformation. The ultimate purpose was totally different. And with the so-called science, even if they are factual, with the simple facts, ultimately it is not leading to anywhere. One more beautiful story. Do not validate with your logic whether it is fact, when it happened, what is the year, date, morning or evening. Usually we never, in the East, we have something called Purana, not history. History is totally different from Purana. History means date, time, incident, whatever happened in the level of length, breadth, depth is recorded. See, whatever has happened in the level of length, breadth, depth is in this 3 dimension. That is recorded. But in Purana, not only whatever has happened in the length, breadth, depth, we record the impact of that incident in time and space. That is why we feel the Puranic things are exaggerated. For example, Adolf Hitler taking birth and another ordinary man taking birth. In the length, breadth, depth wise, both are same. It's not a big thing. Both are one and the same. But this guy's birth has created, his influence on space and time is totally different than the influence created by an ordinary man. Ordinary man, if you see from the view of history, length, breadth, depth, both are same. But if you see the incident from the time and space, his influence, Hitler's influence, is totally different. In India, we try to record, in the East, they try to record something called Puranas, where they give importance to the influence created by that person in space and time. They did not give much importance to the incident itself, which is in the length, breadth, depth. that dimension was not given much importance. But the dimension of space and time, that was given more importance, because the enlightened beings, the rishis, were able to penetrate and see the influence or the impact of that incident in the time and space. Krishna taking birth, and another one, Sisubala. Sisubala also took birth the same time. Taking birth. In the length, breadth, depth, both are same incidents. But why Krishna is given so much of importance? Why a beautiful big book is written about his birth? Because his influence in the space and time is totally different from the influence created by Sisubala. Be very clear. History can never be complete unless it covers the dimension of space and time also. Whatever you call as history is incomplete. And not only that, it is biased. Whoever wins the war, he writes the history. If Hitler would have won the war, history would have been totally different. Who wins, he writes the history. So whatever you think as fact or history, as you are taught, be very clear, it may not be the history. It may not be the history. Puranas are the history recorded by the people who are able to see the impact of every incident in space and time also, and who don't have any vested interests, who are not influenced by business people or politicians. That is why sometimes Puranas look illogical for a man who is with a normal logic, who is with an ordinary intellect, who is oriented only with the facts and figures. They describe beautifully when Krishna took birth, all the devatas, gods and goddesses have appeared on the planet Earth and blessed the planet Earth and had the blessings of Krishna. Be very clear. Now you can't verify where they all assembled, which hall they booked, who conducted the party. You can't verify the fact. We don't have which hall was booked, where they had party, what all is served in the party, and who hosted the party. We don't have a record. We can't start verifying whether it is a fact or not. But one thing is true, it is a truth. By creating these statements, by uttering these statements, all the gods and goddesses have appeared on the planet Earth and blessed the planet Earth. They mean so much of auspiciousness has happened just by this single person appearing on the planet Earth. So much of good things are going to happen. Still now, you can feel his influence in India, an Indian community. Is a single guy, God. The influence which he is having on the Indian community and India, I can say, is the greatest hero, practically followed by billion people. Billion people follow him. He is the hero of billion people. Still now, after 5,000 years, still his influence can be felt in every village of India. In every village, you can feel his influence. Be very clear. The influence created by him, or the impact created by his birth. The rishis, they know the impact which happened because of that incident of his birth, what happened in the space and time. They know the impact. That is the reason they add big words. They write big words so that you will be able to understand the importance of that incident. Those things should be understood and accepted as an instrument towards the truth. You can't verify. And if you try to verify, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. That is why I always tell people, when some theory is proposed in the East, never it was questioned immediately whether it is fact or not. They questioned it, the utility of that hypothesis, the utility of that theory. What is going to do, what we are going to do, what that theory is going to contribute to us. They were never violent to pull the other man down. They just give enough space. They give chance for every being. They just see what can be done with this theory. Can the theory really help us? That's the reason so many people have taken quantum jump. So much of enlightenment, so much of spirituality, so much of conscious growth happened in that spiritual incubator called India.